Up to this point in Craftmas, we have created crocheted and tatted snowflakes, straw stars, a wool felted garland, as well as a cabled tree skirt. And I think today is the perfect day to go ahead and display all of those different decorations that we've made together. A quick knit outfit check for today. This is also a vintage sweater that I thrifted, so this is another one where I unfortunately have to say I'm sorry I can't give you a pattern, but it is super cute and I love wearing it. For my socks, these are the ones I've got on today. They are very soft, very cozy, comfy. I have gotten questions on my CSM sock video, what kind of yarns I use and like what makes sock yarn different. And the sock yarns that I buy personally have a little bit of, I think, nylon or polyamide in it that makes it a little bit stronger and sturdier and holds up better to wear. And they're all superwash wools or alpacas or bamboo or whatever it is. So I can just throw them in the washer and dryer like I would any other pair of socks. So these have already gone through the wash and dry, and they still look fantastic. These have been actually washed and dried a few times because I think I wear this pair the most out of all of them so far. Before we decorate the tree, I think that I want to put a pudding in the oven from one of these recipes to enjoy a lovely sweet dessert with a decorated tree. So this is the book called New Delineator Recipes. It was published in 1929 by the Butterick Publishing Company, so they have quite a few different contents. One thing that I think is particularly interesting is they have a selection of menus where they lay out maybe what you can give for breakfast and luncheons and suppers and dinners, but they also very clearly specify luncheons without meat, a vegetable luncheon, and dinners without meat. And I think probably my guess would be a cost-saving measure to have those sample menus done without meat. What we're going to make today, though, is going to be slightly sweeter. We are going to make a pudding, and this one is called cream rice pudding. You're going to take 3 tablespoons of rice. You're adding 1 tablespoon of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of cinnamon or nutmeg, and I went with cinnamon. To that, you're going to add 1 quart or 4 cups of milk, and you're going to bake that for 3 hours in a slow oven. And from what I can find, the slow oven means about 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 150 degrees Celsius, at least from baking charts that are from the UK, where I think they still use those kinds of terms. And I'm going to stir it several times during the first hour. So while that is baking away and it's making the house smell so delicious, why don't we go ahead and hang up all the ornaments on the tree. What I remember from decorating our tree growing up when I was younger is that we would typically start decorating a lot closer to the 24th, and we wouldn't finish decorating all together. We would start as a family, and then us kids, we would be sent out of the room or kept out of the room for a while until on the 24th in the evening, my parents would ring a bell, which meant that the Christkind had come, and the Christkind was a young girl who brought the presents, and when she rang the bells, it meant that she had come, and we would come into the room and the entire tree would be fully decorated, lit up, and all of the Christmas presents would be there for us to open. I also remember that our tree looked quite a bit different. In the early years especially, we kept a lot more of the what I consider traditional German decorations. So we had a lot of tinsel, and I don't think we ever did real candles, but we had lights on our tree that looked more like full candles in little candle dishes, although I know that my mom told stories of her tree growing up having real lit candles in it, which just sounds like a really terrible fire hazard, especially with small children. But as the years go by, I've really enjoyed incorporating multiple traditions into this time of year and just kind of
celebrating and keeping a cozy festive atmosphere around for as long as possible. I really also enjoyed how my tree turned out with all of the handmade decorations, and I think it's time to enjoy them together with this 1929 rice pudding recipe straight from the oven, nice and warm.
I'm so excited to try out this rice pudding or cream rice pudding. I have to say I wasn't expecting it to turn brown, but I guess that makes sense now that I think about it when you do a long, slow cook of milk in the oven with some sugar. It does smell really, really good. So let's see. Oh, it's hot. Oh, that's straight from the oven and it's hot. I like it a lot. The only thing I would say is that I think my palate is more accustomed to stronger flavors and sweeter flavors. So only having 1 tablespoon of sugar is quite low for what I'm a little bit more used to. So I personally will probably go ahead and sprinkle a little bit more sugar on top of this. I was also expecting that 3 tablespoons of rice to 4 cups of milk would not be anywhere near enough, but it actually really expanded. And once again, because it's the 3 hours of cooking time, the milk really kind of soaked into the rice and created this beautiful, well, yeah, creamy texture. It's really good. I'm just gonna go ahead and go sprinkle some more sugar on this because I like all of my things very sweet. I have a huge sweet tooth. I hope it's okay to leave you with a bit of a shorter video today. I have some larger videos planned for the rest of Vlogmas, so I need a little bit more time to get that done. Hint, hint, it's vintage knitting, and I need a lot of time to get my knitting done. But I do hope you enjoyed seeing me decorate this tree. It is so satisfying to see it come together, by the way. I know it's not a very big tree. We only have a small tree here because we typically go to my family's place for Christmas. So we only typically keep like a very small tree, but I think I kind of made the perfect amount of ornaments to go around it, and it gives me so much joy to look at it. And a future project, maybe for another year, would be to make a handmade tree topper. Right now that's still a little bare, but we'll have to see. If you enjoy fiber crafts, historical knitting, crocheting, sewing, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you again the day after tomorrow for some fun Victorian Christmas traditions that we'll try out with my family.